Are you in a situation where you have lost somebody that you care about and now they have left you a house and you're trying to decide what to do with it? Well, if so, you've come to the right place, because this is our conversation starting now. This is Ginger Faith from Ginger Faith Realty here in the beautiful Tri-Valley, East Bay, California. And as many of you know, I recently went through this with my dad. And so I'm very well qualified as a professional certified probate specialist and real estate broker for the past 20 years in the Bay Area. But also I recently went through this, and I went into my dad's hoarder house and I made it beautiful. And we did it fairly inexpensively for all that we did. And we even made money on it in some way, because we end up selling a lot of the items in the house, which helped to pay for some of the funds that we needed in order to fix the house, which worked out really well. But the first thing you want to do is, of course, clean, clean, clean. That goes with any of it. If you've seen some of my videos, you realize that I've been a stickler on cleaning, power washing, and hosing everything down. We even had a flip one time that was made of solid brick, and we power washed inside the house. We don't recommend that, but that's what we did with a solid brick house. So clean, 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 number one. Number two, you're going to want to go through all of the personal belongings and probably have an estate sale of some sort, which would be a great idea. The estate sale can not only put money in your heir's pocket, but it also can contribute what you need in order to make the house top and sell it for top dollar. Fix it, clean it up, and sell it. But while you're doing that, you want to take away all of the personal belongings out of the house at some point. Hopefully by this time, it's been several months sometimes, and you've gone through your grieving and shock process, and now you're ready to deal with the logistics of the house. So yes, take away anything that's personal, bring them to your house or bring them somewhere else, but remove them from the property. And you want to do this for two reasons. The most important reason is the buyer does not want to see your dad's knickknacks, but maybe the estate sale people do and they want to buy them. So remove them from the house. And the second reason, of course, it makes a lovely presentation. Having less is more. Minimalism and style, but neutrality is really, really important. And cleaning up and getting rid of personal belongings is really important to that end. Very important, you do want to focus on the cosmetic fixers. Not only can you do them for very cheap money, but they really make an impression. When a person who's a buyer comes into the house and they see cracks, they don't know how deep those cracks go. So if it's just cosmetic, you want to make sure you fix it. Very easy to do. Get a handyman in there, get a general contractor, or sometimes you can do it yourself. Take care of as much of the cosmetic fixing as you possibly can. That will go a long way towards selling the house for the best price that you can in the market. If, as you look at the house, it is too overwhelming and there's too much work, well, in that case, you might want to consider selling to a cash investor, but not always. You have to weigh out your specific situation, find out how much it's actually going to cost to make these repairs. If you can do them with short money, then you want to do them. Get, again, a handyman contractor in there. But if it's overwhelming, if you're dealing with a house that's really falling apart and it's going to cost you $100,000 to get the place up to snuff, then you might want to think of just offloading it and getting a fair price for it, so you can move on with your life and not have another 6 months or a year, depending, tied up trying to become your own general contractor and deal with it. Take a look at my video on the 5 things you need to know when you inherit a probate house. It's very, very interesting, and I go into a little bit of the paperwork detail. But this is just talking about the house itself and the fixing up. Now, when I had my dad's house not that long ago, I had a general contractor with me, and we went through the house methodically. But it came to a point where there was one issue. We didn't want to pay for the jacuzzi pump. We found out it was about $5,000, and we thought, you know what, let the new buyer handle it. We disclosed it right up front, and it didn't impact the sale at all. If there's something you really don't want to spring for the cost of, but everything looks absolutely gorgeous inside, you probably can get away with it. And we absolutely did. We had no shortage of buyers because the house was absolutely beautiful and it was pristine. And they took the cost of that and they could deal with it at their own leisure. If you have some time on your hand and for fun, you can take a look at my probate videos where I was at my dad's and all sorts of things came up. It was down south, it was hot, it was crazy, and it was a hoarder house. But it was a very exciting adventure. I'm totally glad that I took the time to deal with that and to handle it. And ultimately we got a great price on the home. But one of the things I did, in addition to looking at my own comparables, I had a very specific number in mind when I put the property on the market, because as a professional, I can figure out comps really, really well. But it was out of my range, out of anywhere in California. Found a wonderful guy and he gave me a really solid appraisal. And that would be a good idea if you're dealing with a number of heirs to have a couple of opinions on the property price. Now, in some cases, you're going to need an appraisal referee if you have limited authority. So again, check out my other video on getting full authority. But if you have limited authority, you may need to have an appraisal referee. So hopefully you don't. You can get a regular appraiser, you can get a broker opinion, and you can go from there. So hopefully you enjoyed these tips and you can take a look at my other probate videos. This is Ginger Faith, certified probate specialist and real estate broker in Northern California for the past 20 years. If you have any questions, comments, or if you have your own crazy stories on probate houses, put a comment in the link below. We'd love to hear from you.
Thank you.